Melaka and Singapore, 205 kilometers apart, and the only way to get between these two cities is to either drive or take a bus. Until now, Scoot, Singapore's low-cost carrier, is now starting flights between these two cities, and I'm on the inaugural flight from Melaka to Singapore. Join me, Airborne with Alan. The journey actually begins at the Terminal Bersepadu Selatan, or the Kuala Lumpur South Integrated Bus Terminal. As I purchased the bus ticket online, I needed to get my boarding pass printed. The KKKL bus turned up 10 minutes before the scheduled departure time. Hour and 40 minutes later, I was at Melaka Central. After having my lunch, I was off to the Melaka International Airport, which was a hive of activity as the state government was rolling out the red carpet for the first scheduled flight of Scoot. Check-in was by Post Aviation, the handling agent for Scoot. The incoming flight from Changi arrived early at 4:43 to a ceremonial water cannon salute. The aircraft was a brand new Embraer E190 E2, and it would be my first time on this aircraft type. After a little bit of a struggle, they managed to get the door open, and the passengers receive a grand welcome by the Tourism Minister and Melaka's Chief Minister. After a bit of a disorganized boarding process, we were presented with goodie bags as we made our way to the aircraft. The E2 is certainly one of the most beautiful current aircraft with its sleek lines. The cabin also didn't disappoint, with smart-looking grey slimline leather seats with a 2x2 cabin configuration. One of the 3 flight attendants led me to my seat at row 26. The overhead bins were easy to access and large with much space. The forward door was closed at 3:55 p.m., which was 5 minutes behind schedule.
Cabin crew, please arm all doors, cross-check and stand by for safety demonstration.
Waist strap around your waist. Connect the clip and pull the strap to tighten. Inflate your life vest at the exit. To inflate, pull the red drop from the compartment above. Pull the mask down sharply to activate the flow of oxygen. Place the mask over your nose and mouth. Must be clear of any items. Thank you for your attention.
What I noticed during engine start was how quiet the engines were. We headed to the runway and backtracked to take off from runway 03, passing the flight schools and an aircraft parts manufacturer based at the airport.
Cabin crew, take off stations, thank you.
I have enhanced the volume, but you can hardly hear the engines during takeoff, even though I was seated just behind them. After takeoff, we flew over the city before turning south over the Straits of Melaka. The captain had earlier said that we would be cruising at 20,000 feet, and as you see, there were thick clouds above us and ominous weather inland. Let's take a look at the seats. The legroom was ample for a short flight like this, with Scoot advertising a pitch of 28 inches, but because of the slim design, it felt more. The passenger control units were split into 2, placing them directly above each seat with aircon vents, call button and reading lights. Really like this placement. My favorite were the large windows that made the cabin feel far more spacious than other narrow-body aircraft. As usual, each seat had the standard tray table and the seat pocket filled with the usual safety card, sick bag, the overpriced Scoot Cafe menu, and a shopping catalogue. There was a toilet at the forward and at the back of the aircraft, and this one at the back was clean and tidy. If you're wondering what was in the goodie bag given earlier, a small face towel, soft toy, which is the Melaka state mascot, the mouse deer, notebook, and a map of the state.
We will also be coming around with Scoot motorboats for photo taking. Please feel free to take as many photos as we come.
Since it was an inaugural flight, the crew announced that they would be going through the cabin with promo boards for selfies, and of course I had to join in. In the after takeoff announcement, we were told that we could use Scoot Hub to track our flight, but as you can see, it wasn't working. Soon we were passing the port of Tanjung Pelepas in Malaysia, Tuas, Singapore, and then over Batam, Indonesia, before heading north again, before turning back for landing at Changi's runway 20 right. So, what were my impressions of this flight? Starting with check-in, I received an email inviting me to check in online, but after filling in everything, the system replied self-check-in wasn't available for Melaka. So if that was the case, then why send the check-in invite in the first place? The check-in itself and the boarding staff were a bit on the chaotic side. The aircraft cabin was faultless. The E190-E2 cabin is now my favorite narrow-body aircraft. The crew were friendly and went through the motions efficiently. The flight was really too short to get a full idea of the service standards. No buy-on-board run through the cabin was done, and online the only item available for sale was the snack bag at, believe it or not, 50 ringgit. We arrived at the Changi Airport Terminal 1 gate 21 minutes late at 5:01 p.m. And then we had to wait a further 10 minutes as there wasn't anyone to operate the aero bridge and attach it to our aircraft. Due to the very fast and super efficient immigration process, I did have to wait another 10 minutes for my bag to arrive. And now for the bonus. While researching for travel options to Johor Bahru, I found that there was a coach service by TransStar from Terminal 1 to the Johor Bahru CIQ complex for 11 Singapore dollars. I then discovered that Scoot passengers were able to use this coach transfer for free. Using a link, I filled in the form with my flight details and I received a reply the very next day, informing that my request had been approved and to pick a departure time that I wanted. So after replying to that, I was sent a voucher to present to the driver. My overall impressions of this flight was a positive one. And if I had to score it, I would give it a 4 out of 5 points. It's obvious that this service will help feed passengers heading beyond Singapore for Scoot rather than point to point. And I do hope they succeed in making this route work on the long run. The E190-E2 with its lower capacity and operating costs would help a lot in finally giving Melaka a regular airline service. Thank you for watching. Don't forget until we meet again to like, share and subscribe.